When you look at full-time sneaker resellers that don't have a physical storefront, but they make six-figure profits every single year, there is one thing that they have in common. And that one thing is that I thought I was finished last episode. I wasn't. So let me go over the sales that I've made since then, and then I'll further explain. Sold Amazon Fire Stick, Jackie Robinson cleats, Kobe's, CPFM Air Forces, 2 Hellstar tees, a bunch of Jordan 4 military blues. Unfortunately, this drop was not as profitable as I hoped. And I also did some credit card rewards farming. Not bad. But as I was plugging in the numbers to do the calculations for my credit card rewards farming, I realized that something was off. Turns out that I was doing my profit calculations wrong for any of the items that were categorized as below cost deals. A below cost deal is when the buyer pays you less than what you paid for the items, but you still make a profit from the credit card rewards. Basically, I had overreported my profit for any items under this category. Thankfully, I had it all saved in my spreadsheet, so I just copy and paste the calculations, and it set me back over $300, which is not ideal. So this is the real ending profit in this series. The last logged sale is on the 15th of May, and considering that the series started on October, this took me about 7.5 months, which means that I've profited about $1,400 every month. Not gonna lie, it took longer than I expected, but either way, $1,400 a month for an online side hustle that anyone can do that doesn't take an insane amount of time, after you learn everything of course, is actually pretty good in my opinion. So what about the rest of my inventory? Well, some of these are definitely moving quite slow, and some might even take a long while before they sell, because summertime is here. When it comes to jackets and things like that, it's out of season, so I might have to wait to be able to sell them for the prices that I want, but to me, it's not really a big deal. But all in all, we can probably get an extra $400 to $700 in profit after everything is sold. The only thing that I bought that I'm expecting to lose money on are these Jordan airships. I'll probably lose around $30 to $40 per pair, but this amount is somewhat negligible considering the other profitable items in my inventory. And unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to return the Jordan 4 military blue grade school pairs. It's not too big of a deal since Nike does have hassle-free returns. I had also had to return these Belkin speakers. I got them for around 70% off, and at the time they were actually selling pretty consistently for a profitable price, but other websites decided to slash their prices even more. The return window got closer and closer, so I decided to just bite the bullet and return them all before I end up stuck with them. And with that out of the way, I want to share some important lessons that I've learned throughout this journey that I feel like would be valuable for anybody watching this right now. Lesson number 1. Just because an item doesn't sell out fast, it doesn't automatically mean it's a brick. Oftentimes I see other resellers go into an absolute state of panic when they realize that the item that they purchased didn't sell out immediately. But throughout this web series, I sold tons and tons of items that were in stock for several weeks at a time, but I was still able to profit from them. And literally, while it was still in stock, I was still selling these same exact items for a profit. I know it doesn't make any sense. If it's still in stock, why don't buyers just buy directly from the store? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that these opportunities do exist, and they happen more frequently than you think. When something is super easy to get, or maybe in stock right this moment, but people are still willing to pay a premium for it. Here's a few examples. Yeezy pods, $20 each, still in stock, but people are paying $40 to $50 per pair. Denim Tears hoodies, $210 each. These were in stock for almost a whole month, and people are paying $275 to $300 each. Sometimes even more if you're lucky. You were literally able to buy as many as you wanted, considering you have the money for it, and you were able to flip them for a profit. Easy slides, $70 each. They were reselling between $90 to $140 $10 per pair, and people still slept on them. I was kind of drop shipping them on eBay. So the way I had it done was I had a pre-order listing with all the sizes that were still in stock on the Adidas Confirmed app. And when someone purchased from my listing, only then would I buy that same size on the Adidas app. It would get shipped out to me, and then I would ship it out to the buyer. All in all, I bought and sold 90 slides and about 30 foam runners. And even then, I feel like I didn't buy enough. So just because something doesn't sell out immediately, don't freak out. By the way, the opposite is also true. If something sells out instantly, instant sellout times, doesn't always mean it's profitable. Lesson number 2 is never underestimate volume. I know a lot of haters and shit talkers would be like, oh, you only made $10 for that item, why even bother? There's also a lot of resellers that think anything less than $100 profit is just a brick to them. Obviously, I super disagree. When you look at full-time sneaker resellers that don't have a physical storefront, but they make 6-figure profits every single year, there is one thing that they have in common. And that one thing is that they often sell low margin inventory in volume, sometimes even netting them only a few dollars per shoe.
What we're doing is just finding market opportunities, making a small margin. We're not getting rich on any specific deal.
What's your average margin?
It's pretty low, you know what I mean? Like, think of it as like a classic like wholesale margin, right? Like, we're not making 15-20% on the stuff we're selling here. I'll tell you that much, okay?
Got it. Depends. So I'm making 2% to 20%. How much are you making on something like this? Because I mean, these only go for what, like 80 bucks, 83?
I make a couple of dollars.
But with enough volume, they're making a killing.
Couple dollars, but how many units do you sell?
The biggest order of the Air Force One have made is 3,000 pairs.
3,000 pairs?
In one shot.
One thing that's important to take into consideration is the time it takes to actually buy, sell, and fulfill these products. The process of actually purchasing the sneakers might actually be even easier than those high margin shoes, since theoretically, they're not as hype. Obviously, selling one pair that gives you $100 in profit will be a lot less work than selling 20 pairs with $5 worth of profit for each shoe. But if you have connections with buyers, then shipping out all of the orders just to one person will definitely speed up the process. Keep in mind though that there are cases where low margin doesn't make sense. For example, if you sit on the Snipes queue for 3 hours to get one Jordan 4 military blue that you might make $10 on, then don't do that. Or if you have to line up outside of a physical store for 8 hours to get one pair that you make $10 on, don't do that. But if you set up automations on a bot, which takes 1 minute to set up, where you can just go about your day normally, you don't even have to be in front of your computer to be able to get multiple checkouts, then that would be a great low margin flip. Or maybe only going for websites where the drops only last for a few minutes long. So whenever you decide to go for a low margin item, time and effort to make the purchase should also be considered. I'm not telling you not to go for high margin shoes. All I'm saying is that low margin, high volume shouldn't be ignored. And you should also go for the high margin shoes. You should be going for both of these types of drops if you want to make the most out of your cook group, out of your bots, or whatever else you're paying for. Speaking of connections though, this is lesson number 3, and that is how important it is to establish connections with the right people. There's this famous saying that goes, your network is your net worth. This phrase never really resonated with me personally, just until recently, because I've kind of always just been like, fuck everyone, I'm doing this on my own. But when it comes to reselling, the connections you make have a direct impact on how much you're going to get paid and how often you get paid. If you have a buyer that will guarantee to buy your items from every single release, even pairs or clothing pieces that are considered to be bricks, then you have the ability to go for several releases that many other resellers wouldn't even consider. So instead of only going for 2 drops every single week, maybe because all of the other drops within that week are just bricks, if you're able to profit off of every single drop, you're obviously going to make a lot more money than someone who doesn't know where to sell these things. Typically, when it comes to this whole reselling thing, there is a correlation between inconvenience and payout. For instance, stock X is extremely convenient. However, the payouts are lower here than most other platforms. Local meetups are extremely inconvenient, but the payouts are incredibly high. But after establishing a healthy business relationship with buyers, you have the opportunity to make excellent profits with very little effort. However, admittedly, at first, it is going to be one of those things that take a lot of time in the beginning. Building your own reputation, reaching out to people, but it's definitely worth it if reselling is something that you plan to do in the long term. All right, so what's next for me? Over the next few months, I'm planning to focus on short form content. They're going to be uploaded on these socials that you're seeing right now on the screen. And you should also expect me to live stream any major sneaker releases. It's going to be live on this YouTube channel, so if you haven't yet, subscribe. As for long form content, I'm going to occasionally make any piece of long form content on anything that I just find interesting personally. Hope you enjoyed that. What a journey. I'll see you on the next one. So I have to pick out a winner. I mentioned that whoever guessed however long it would take me to complete this series would get a prize. I'll just pick whoever was closest, and I'm going to be giving away my newest Boy merch, which has an embroidered design. This is not the same as the one that shows up on the bottom of my YouTube channel. This one is better. So let's check out these comments. I love you for believing in me that much, but 2 months? I think it would have been possible, but not probable. 4 months? Okay. 228 days would be exactly how much it is. It will take 11 months. Some people are saying in months, some people are saying in days, according to this days to months converter. So anyone who commented 3 months, that would count as 91 days. 11 months would count as 334 days. So the person that said 11 months, H sneakers equals difference of 106 days, and whoever has the lowest amount of difference is the winner. So somebody said 4 months. I'll just put 122 days. So 228 minus 122, 106. Oh my god. Hannah Clark 005 also has a difference of 106 days. That's incredible. Oh wait, Cream Big Gums, what a name. 5 months. I think that has to be the closest. 152 days. 228 minus 152, 76 days difference. So again, the lower the better. Okay, we have a winner. Cream Big Gums. Hopefully it wouldn't be too hard to get in contact with you. So congrats, Cream Big Gums. There you have it.